Ironically, it was in the Chinatown neighborhood of Boston where the man screamed in my face, "Go back to your country." He had no idea how complicated that was for me. I was Korean before I was American. The delicate yellowing papers from Social Welfare Society in Seoul state my birth date as August 17th, 1977, with the word accurate in hopeful parentheses. I know I spent at least around 9 months with my birth mother. I think about us in whatever time we had together, growing as close as two humans could be. Maybe we lived in an empty house, so she kept the TV on for company, and I giggled with her at funny movies, and she felt my happy kicks. Maybe we lived with the love of her life, and they danced in the kitchen, slurping spicy noodles and wiping gochujang off each other's cheeks, as we grow bigger. Always there is her heartbeat, the constant, reassuring, unstoppable sound keeping both of us alive. I wonder if she was in a hospital or alone when she could no longer hold on to me. I wonder if she wanted to see me as much I longed to see as her face when I finally opened my eyes, and I wonder where she went. I've heard that children in Korean orphanages were given their owner's family name. About 20% of the Korean population, about 1 in 5 people, has a family named Kim. I became one of the millions when I was brought to Angela Orphanage on June 17th, 1978, and given the name Kim Hyun-hee. On December 18th, 1978, I became one of the 200,000 children sent out of the country to be adopted. When I landed at JFK Airport in New York, I was handed to the mother and family who named me Jennifer Kim Bliscoe. That was the year that 56,323 babies were named Jennifer, one of the 14 years it was the most popular girl's name, adding up to over 800,000 of us during that time. Bliscoe is the last name of my father's gregarious, generous Italian family, which my Russian mother joined when they were married. When I was married on May 20th, 2000, I became Jennifer Kim Brennan. After several wonderful years together, we separated, and I changed my last name to Kim. I was ready to be known as Korean by my name. Even though I grew up in America, I still feel 5,000 years of Korean history holding on to me and whispering in the background. Sometimes I take the bottle of sesame oil down from the kitchen shelf and breathe it in, my favorite smell. I heard about a study where male mice were introduced to the smell of cherry blossoms. When the smell was paired with a mild electric shock, they grew to fear the smell, even when the shock later was not administered. When the mice reproduced, they had children and grandchildren who were also afraid of the smell of cherry blossoms, even the first time they smelled it, and even when they weren't shocked. Even female mice in other locations had children and grandchildren with the same reaction, even though they were never shocked either and never met their fathers. So, what else do we inherit from parents and ancestors we've never met or seen or held? What else are we genetically programmed to respond to? How about sounds? I ignored K-pop for a very long time until at 54 seconds into a song by the group BTS, the musical progression from one note to another suddenly made me cry. I didn't understand the Korean lyrics, but something in the soulful, yearning melody felt like something I needed so much in order to keep breathing, like exhaling without realizing you were holding your breath. When I was growing up, I always felt an emptiness, a wandering longing I didn't understand. Over the years, I went to therapy, took medication, everything we do here in America, but it was always there. Sorry, excuse me. When I go back to Korea, I wait for this key. the way to unlock the culture and the customs, the words and the language, everything that I've lost. When I found out the Korean word Han, it hit me like a punch in the stomach, like something I had known always in my blood. It's difficult to explain or translate, but it's the feeling amongst all Koreans of sadness and rage and injustice, even if you didn't grow up with the history and the turmoil in the country firsthand. But I also learned the word jang, a deep-seated love and affection and warmth, a bond amongst all Koreans. I feel this when I go out with other Korean adoptees. We toast with soju and wrap warm, crispy barbecue in perilla leaves with whole cloves of garlic and bean paste, swiping it through a perfectly balanced mix of sesame oil and salt. In 2018, I watched with the world as the Winter Olympics opened in Pyeongchang. There's a group of adorable dancers swaying to the music in suhorong tiger hats, and I wonder if I could have been one of them if I had stayed. In the same year, I shout in the Women's March through New York City, and I feel like I don't even know how to be American anymore. The country's fractured even deeper than the cultural divide I felt my whole life. So where do I belong? There's so much more to learn about both countries. When I was told to go back to my country, I didn't know what that meant. But maybe it isn't where I came from, or even where I'm standing now. Maybe it's who and what I am, and all of the invisible ways my past tries to hold on to me. 왜 자꾸만 감추려고만 해 네 가면 속으로 내 스스로 생긴 현타까지 다 내 별자리인데. You have no idea how hard it is for me to try to speak Korean. Roughly translated, that means, why do you keep hiding inside your mask? Even the scars from my mistakes form my very own constellations. So, my country is in me and in who and what I love. And every day I discover more about finding myself instead of waiting to be found. So don't worry about me. I'm already home. Thank you.